Myself, Dr. P. K. Verma, all the students of biology, and my colleague teachers are most welcome in the biology class. Earlier, I had discussed about the asexual reproduction in the lower plants, higher plants, as well as some of the animals. In this session, I shall discuss sexual reproduction in the lower plants, the non-flowering plants. Now, in the sexual reproduction, gametes are formed and fertilization occurs. It needs two reproductive units, normally the male and female gametes, but this distinction of male and female gametes is not found at the very low level of the unicellular organism. Here I would like to say that in kingdom Monera, that is bacteria, there is no sexual reproduction. It is the property of only the eukaryotes, from protista to the animals and the flowering plants. Now there are three types of fertilization. One is called isogamy, second is anisogamy, and the third is oogamy. Let us study everyone with some important examples. It is very interesting that one species of plant like Protista or a member of Chlorophyceae, Chlamydomonas, has all the three types of fertilization, that is isogamy, anisogamy, and oogamy. Now what is isogamy? The two gametes are identical in shape and size. No one can distinguish between them. In that condition, these are called isogametes and their fertilization is called isogamy. Some algae like Spirogyra and Eulothrix also have isogamous fertilization. Now, in this diagram, isogamy in Chlamydomonas is shown. The Chlamydomonas directly changes into the gamete in the early winter season, and the two isogametes fertilize to form a zygote. To protect themselves from the low temperature and the adverse chemical conditions, the zygote converts into zygospore and secretes a protective sheath around itself. When the favorable condition comes next year, the diploid zygote cell absorbs water, sheath breaks, and by meiosis, 4 spores are produced. These spores are haploid. In this case, as well as in case of Eulothrix, the spores are biflagellated and therefore they can swim in water. It is why these spores are called zoospores. But it is not essential that in all algae the spores form flagella, that is, the zygospore essentially forms the zoospore. Now, in case of anisogamy, the gametes are similar in shape but not in size. In the first diagram, there are two gametes of Chlamydomonas. One is smaller, another is larger. So they have this similar size. And in the third, you can see only a pair of flagella are seen in the smaller gamete, but the larger is without any flagella, and therefore the larger cell behave as the female gamete, that is oocyte. So these are the three types, and oogamy is especially important because in the red and brown algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, all higher plants and animals, oogamy is found. The larger immotile cell behaves as ovum, and the sperm is small and motile. It may be flagellated or without a flagellum. The sperms are variously known as antherozoites or androzoites, and even when the pollen grains germinate, they form the male gamete that may be called an sperm. Now see a diagram in which the sexual reproduction in Spirogyra by the method called conjugation is shown. In Spirogyra, filament may be homothallic or heterothallic. In case of both homothallic and heterothallic, a scalariform conjugation, that is pairing of the two filaments, take place, and a conjugation tube is formed between them. But in case of homothallic filament, sometimes lateral conjugation takes place, that is the two adjacent cells fertilize each other. In lateral conjugation, when a pore is formed in the cell wall between two cells, it is called direct method, but when a conjugation tube forms laterally from the two cells, it is called indirect method. Now in the photograph, only the scalariform conjugation is shown. You can see that in between these two filaments, a small conjugation tube is formed. Here 4 such conjugation tubes have been shown in the small part, that is 4 pair of cells are conjugating each other. Now the protoplasm condenses in both the cells, but one cell has more condensed cytoplasm, it cannot flow. The other has less condensed cytoplasm, so it can flow through the conjugation tube, and therefore the zygote is formed in only one of them. In the third lane, you can see that the entire cytoplasm of one filament has moved into the other filament. Certainly, this filament is different from this filament. These are the two filaments. One is receiving and another is donor. On this basis, these are often called the plus filament and minus filament respectively. But the plus cannot be said as male and minus cannot be said as female. In behavior, it seems that the two gametes are different, but scientists say that it is isogamous type of fertilization. So be careful if in the NEET examination fertilization in Spirogyra is asked, it is isogamous, mostly scalariform conjugation and sometimes lateral conjugation. Now in case of lateral conjugation, indirect method, here in the diagram there is indirect method. One cell, this cell behaves as plus and this cell behaves as minus. A conjugation tube is formed from plus extend to minus and fuses there. Now the gamete from the plus cell goes into minus cell and therefore zygote is formed inside the minus cell. So alternating cells become empty. In Spirogyra, zygote also forms zygospore, but in the favorable condition, by meiosis 4 cells are formed, but they don't form the spore. These 4 cells become linearly arranged and germinate out of the theca of the zygospore and form a single filament. Now, in the higher organisms, in brown and red algae, male and female sex organs are formed, but these are unicellular organs. Whereas in the bryophytes and pteridophytes, the male sex organ Antheridia and female sex organ Archegonia are formed. These are multicellular structure. In the Antheridium, the structure is club-shaped with a short stalk in the Bryophyta but unstalked in Pteridophyta. A single sporogenous cell is there, but the cell divides many times, forming hundreds of haploid cells, and each of them form the biflagellated male gametes or the antherozoids. The Archegonia are just like the round bottom flasks in Bryophyta. In addition to a lid or capsule, there are 6 neck canal cells, a venter canal cell, and a venter, inside which an ovum develops. But in Prothallus of Pteridophyta, the gynoecium has hardly 3 or 4 neck canal cells. Sexual reproduction occurs in winter season. After maturation in the female, that is Archegonium, the cap cell, neck canal cells and venter canal cells degenerate, and a number of organic molecules, including organic acid, especially the fumaric acid, is released. These organic chemicals attract the spermatozoa towards the ovum. In this diagram, the lower part, rounded part, is called venter, in which an ovum is present. The ventral canal cell and neck canal cells have been degenerated. This is the antheridium. It is almost round structure with a single jacket layer. These are the many cells formed by mitosis of the gametocyte, and after maturation each cell will convert into spindle shaped male gamete having two flagella for swimming. In the night, when dewdrops fall on the thallus, entire thallus becomes submerged under a drop of water. So these antherozoites swim in dew water and enter into the neck and fertilize the ovum. Now there are certain important facts about the life cycle in plant. In entire plant kingdom, gametophytes are haploid and the gametes are always formed by mitosis. After fertilization, the zygote becomes diploid and represents a sporophytic generation. Therefore, the zygote has to divide by meiosis to form the four haploid spores in case of Thallophyta and Bryophyta. So in these cases there are post-fertilization meiosis to form the haploid spores because the organisms are haploid. The algae and Bryophyta may be homothallic or heterothallic. In case of homothallic, both types of gametes are formed in the same plant body. But in case of heterothallic, one plant body behaves as male, another as female. One forms the male gamete, another forms the female gamete. The life cycle of Thallophyta and Bryophyta, in which the most of the part of life, that is the main vegetative body of the plant, is haploid. Zygote is the only structure that is diploid in nature, but very soon this zygote divides by meiosis to form the haploid spores. So the diploid stage is only small and negligible in the life cycle. Such life cycle of the plants is called haplobiontic life cycle. However, in case of Pteridophyta, the main plant body, that is the bush or the tree of the pteridophytes, are diploid. They form asexual spores inside the sporangia, inside the sori by meiosis, and from the haploid spores a prothallus is produced. This prothallus is similar to the thallus of Rixia. It is also homothallic, that is antheridium and archegonium, Both are present in the same thallus. They also produce the male gametes biflagellated. Fertilization is similar. But after fertilization, the zygote germinates to form a diploid embryo known as protonema, and later on, from the protonema, the fern plant is produced. So in this case, there are two independent phases. Prothallus is haploid phase. It is homothallic and can live for 1 or 2 months in the rainy season, and fertilization occurs after rainy season in the early winter. After fertilization, the diploid phase begins. Such alternation of haploid and diploid phases in the life cycle of a plant is known as haplodiplobiontic life cycle, or simply haploid-diploid alternation of generation. In this diagram, the entire life cycle of a fern plant is shown. The lower diagram is a fern plant. It grows vegetatively, spreads on a larger area. From its nodes, compound leaves appear. On these compound leaves, sorai are formed. In the previous session, you must have seen distribution of sorai on the surface of pinna or the leaflets. Inside the sorai, there are sporangia in which meiosis occurs and the haploid spores are produced. So from sporangium, haploid spores are produced by meiosis, and it is a type of asexual reproduction. Now these spores germinate to form the prothallus. On this prothallus, Antheridia and Archegonia, both types of structures are there. From Antheridia, the sperms or male gametes, the antherozoites are released, and inside Archegonium the ovum is formed. After fertilization, the zygote germinates and form prothallus, form protonema, and from protonema the new plant is produced. So this is a peculiar case in which 50% life is diploid or sporophyte, and another 50% is haploid or gametophyte. Now in the fourth division, gymnosperm, it is a seed-bearing plant but naked seeded. It has no flower. The plant may be monoecious, that is bisexual, such as in Pinus, or dioecious, that is unisexual, such as in Cycas. In these cases, the female gametophytes are formed on special leaves known as megasporophylls. These megasporophylls are a specialized leaf grown in bunch on the apex of the plant in case of Cycas, but on different branches in case of Pinus. On the megasporophyll, an ovule develops directly. It has no ovary. The male sex organs, that is male cone, is formed as a bunch of microsporophylls, a leaf-like, rather bract-like structure on which the anther-like structure develops directly and produce the pollen grains. After the pollen grains germinate on the ovule surface, they form two male gametic nuclei, but only one fertilizes the ovum and another degenerate. In gymnosperm, a leafy green sporophyte generation called cones containing male and female gametophytes. Female cones are bigger than male cones and are located higher up in the tree. The male cone contains microsporophyll, where male gametophytes, the pollens are produced and spread by wind to female gametophyte. The megaspore mother cells in the female cone divide by meiosis to produce 4 haploid megaspores. One of them forms the ovum. When pollen grains land on the female cone, forming a palline tube through which the generative cell travels to meet the male gametophyte. One of the two sperm cells released by generative cells fuse to egg, forming a diploid zygote that divides to form the embryo, but the second male gamete degenerates. Unlike angiosperm, there is no endosperm and no double fertilization in case of gymnosperm. Now see the photograph of the megasporophyll. You can see the large ovules in Cycas normandiana, but many 3 and 2 are shown here. One is somehow broken in the Cycas revolta. These are the ovules, there is no ovary. It is the male cone that grows on the apex of Cycas plant. These triangular structures, the beautiful rose, are the bracts in the axil of which the anthers develop and pollen grains are formed. Now come to Pinus. It is more developed plant. In Pinus, you can see the male cone, and in the same tree on different stems, different branches, female cone also develop. So the male and female cones both develop in same tree and pollination is by wind. After fertilization, the ovule forms seeds. These seeds are non-endospermic and seeds of many species of Pinus are used as dry nuts in Afghanistan. Chilgoja is one of the important dry nuts derived from the Pinus plant. So you have learned everything about the sexual reproduction in the plant kingdom except the flowering plant. So in the next session, we shall discuss about the flowering plant. Thank you. Thank you very much.